All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super cool. Usually, learning about tech fundamentals, like network architecture, feels like reading a dusty, dry textbook. But not today. The material we're looking at takes a wild, totally unique approach. It literally frames the foundational rules of the digital universe as an epic, high-stakes training arc. So, let's gear up and explore exactly how the whole world stays connected.
So, the big question right out of the gate is this. Are you ready to shatter your limits and master the network? We're going to totally strip away all that boring, complex jargon and look directly at the core mechanics that govern literally every single byte of data flowing across the globe. It's all about unlocking your ultimate digital power by really nailing the basics. So let's step into the arena.
Okay, check this out. The source uses a pretty great analogy here, even bringing in Piccolo checking a smartphone. Because think about it, in a universe packed with billions of devices, right? Phones, laptops, huge servers, how does a simple text message know exactly where to go? Well, just like every martial artist has their own specific energy signature, every single device connected to the internet needs a unique identity. Without it, the internet would just be absolute chaos. Messages would literally be flying blind. So what's this digital signature actually called?
And that brings us to the IP address. This is basically the golden rule of network routing. It's a unique address given to every single device connected to the internet. Whenever a message, an image, or a video is sent over the network, it doesn't just wander around aimlessly hoping to find its destination. It routes directly to these exact digital coordinates. It pinpoints exactly where a specific device lives on the global grid at any given millisecond.
Now, these coordinates, they follow a super disciplined format. An IP address isn't just some random jumble of letters and numbers. It always consists of exactly 4 sets of numbers strictly separated by dots. So think something like 192.168.1.1. This specific 4-number structure is the absolute standard. It's the literal framework keeping the entire global network organized and humming along day after day.
All right, brace yourselves because we are approaching the boss battle of this training arc. The material takes on what is arguably the ultimate confusion in modern tech. It's a trap almost everyone falls into, mixing up two massive concepts like they're the exact same thing. But to truly master the network, we've got to separate fact from fiction and resolve this ultimate showdown of terminology.
Here's the critical distinction: the internet versus the World Wide Web. Okay, so the internet is the biggest network in the world. Think of it as the physical infrastructure. We're talking massive cables running across ocean floors, satellites up in orbit, countless routers. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is the collection of documents and resources that you access through the internet. So, if the internet is the physical highway, the web is the massive fleet of trucks carrying information on that highway. You can't have the web without the internet, but they are absolutely 100% not the same thing.
To really drive this home, the source drops this incredibly intense quote from Vegeta. 48 minutes, that's all we were given for this tournament of power. Yet, in that brief time span, we Saiyan warriors have shattered our limits time after time. You've seen it with your own eyes, Destroyer. Man, what a dramatically awesome way to make a point. The idea here is that understanding global networking doesn't actually require years and years of study. With focused effort, you can shatter your own limits and level up your understanding in a surprisingly short amount of time.
So, what does this tournament of power actually look like for us? Well, in the source material, it takes the form of a 10th grade homework assignment. Yeah, this is where theory meets practice. It's one thing to just sit back and review these concepts, right? But it's a whole other beast to actually put them to the test and prove you've mastered them in the real world.
To prove that mastery, the material lays out 3 specific challenges. Challenge number 1, list the steps needed to check the IP address of any computer you use. Like, we know what it is conceptually now, but can you actually dig into your settings and find yours? Challenge 2, what does IP actually stand for? And challenge 3, throwing a bit of a curveball at the end, what does URL stand for? Conquer these 3 questions and you've conquered today's training.
And then, out of nowhere, the source material just completely drops the mic with this massive, "That's it, see ya, bye-bye." It's such a chaotic, totally unhinged, and energetic way to wrap up a technical deep dive into networking fundamentals. I mean, you definitely don't see that in a standard IT manual, and it completely leaves a lasting impression.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, the challenge for you is clear. Grab your keyboard and dive into those 3 questions. It really is fascinating how a fun theme can make these foundational tech concepts so engaging, isn't it? We navigate the web every single day, checking links, sending messages,
But how often do we actually stop and think about the massive physical infrastructure that makes it all possible? So next time you log on, take a second to appreciate the sheer scale of the global network you're tapping into. Go shatter your limits, conquer the network on your own, and I'll see you next time.